Good evening, everyone. Great to have you on board again tonight. It's just a quick catch up to see how everyone's going this week. I haven't been in touch this week. It's been school holidays again, so I've been enjoying the time with my kids. Thought I'd do a bit of a live post between my clients this evening so I could touch base, give you a little bit of information and say hi to everyone. My name's Teresa Todd. I'm a naturopath, a biochemist, microbiologist and author. And today I just wanted to talk to you about your thyroid and how important it is to your health, especially if you're feeling run down and tired and a bit slow in your thought and under the weather a little bit. So let's talk about your thyroid. Where is it? It sits here just in the little nape of the neck here, just above the collarbones. And it's a butterfly-shaped organ. It's quite small. Well, it's small compared to other organs of the body, but it's very important in what it does. Hi, Sharon. In what it does for your body. So when we're talking about the effect of the thyroid on the body, let's think about the drummer in a band. So if you've got a band playing and the guitarists and the singers and everyone else is playing to the beat of the drummer has to get the beat correct for the rest of the body to be able, or for the rest of the band to be able to play their tune and be in sync and really sound good. Think of the thyroid as being that little drummer in the band. It runs the beat for the rest of your body. So the thyroid's involved with your metabolism, it's involved with your blood pressure, your heart regulation, it's involved with your body temperature, it's involved with your digestion. It links back to your reproductive hormones, your breathing rate. All of those things are very much influenced by how the thyroid functions. So making sure that your thyroid is running effectively will mean that your body will run that much smoother and it won't get the hiccups and the little bumps along the way that you can get when the thyroid's not working properly. So let's talk a little bit more about what you can do, or what the thyroid does, and how you can see what's going on with your thyroid. So the brain tells the thyroid, hey, here's a thyroid stimulating hormone. This hormone is going to stimulate the thyroid to produce a hormone called T4. That T4 is a bit of an inactive hormone. So if you're ever on thyroid hormone replacement, you'll be given a T4 hormone to take, and then you have to actually activate it, and the body has to activate it using some key nutrients such as tyrosine, selenium and iodine. Those key nutrients are needed to activate T4 to make a hormone called T3. That T3 then has a lot of influence on the rest of the body and what goes on. So we really need to make sure that that's working beautifully. Now, generally in blood tests, TSH is the only hormone that's tested as the front line of defense. And they look at that and just go, okay, you're in this normal range, that's fine. However, there are a lot of people that can be inside that normal range and still need to look further into what's going on with the hormones, what's going on with the T4 or what's going on with T3, or even looking for antibodies. So it's very important to investigate thyroid a little bit if you suspect that your thyroid's not working properly, or if you have a family history of it, or the thyroid's really sensitive to stress, toxins and nutritional deficiencies. So those three things can undermine your thyroid function and cause it to run what I call suboptimally. So it's not diseased per se, it's just not running as well as it could do. So what we want to do is make sure we can optimize it a lot. Hi Beverly, lovely to have you on board today. So by ensuring that you get those three key nutrients, the selenium, the iodine and the tyrosine, you can make sure that you're giving your thyroid some of the nutrients it needs to manufacture or to activate the hormones. Also making sure that you're not too stressed, and that's a bit of a hard thing in this day and age because we find that a lot of people are tending to run on stress a little bit too much. So it's about having that downtime and that time out to allow your body to regroup and allow the adrenals to which are your little stress hormones that stress the organs that produce your stress hormones, and they sit on the kidneys, but they also influence the thyroid a lot. So it's about making sure that you've got the time out, you've got the relaxation time, you've got strategies to help with your stress. And I've spoken about things like dealing with stress before, so I'm not going to go into it here, but just be aware if you're chronically stressed, running on those adrenal hormones all the time, pushing yourself so hard that it will influence your thyroid and it will undermine it a little bit. And then toxins. So if you're eating poor nutritional food, if you're in an environment that has a lot of toxins to it, heavy metals, or even radiation these days. So the Wi-Fi's, thank you, Beverly. So the Wi-Fi radiation that you can get from mobile phones and computers, those kinds of things can also impact on the thyroid. It's very sensitive to radiation. So particularly in Japan a few years ago when they had that tsunami, the nuclear power plant had an issue with radiation exposure. A lot of those people that were exposed to that have to look after their thyroid for the next few years and just see what's going on, because the thyroid is so sensitive to those kinds of things. We're not exposed to radiation in a nuclear power plant kind of aspect here in Australia at the moment. However, we do get those everyday radiation exposure just continually ebbing away at us. So it's just about monitoring where your body is at and making sure that your body runs the best. Now, let's have a look at the symptoms. What symptoms could you have if your thyroid's not running properly? So the symptoms would be fatigue and tiredness, sensitivity to the cold, putting on weight. Putting on weight's a big one. Putting on weight and fatigue are two biggies that we tend to have a look for what's going on with the thyroid, but also getting constipation, being a bit sluggish in your digestive system, having the dry skin, the dry hair, but also moods. So being irritable, depressed, very mood volatile, they can also be a reflection of the thyroid function. Heavy periods or frequent periods. So if your menstrual cycle started to change a bit, it's a good thing to have a look at how the thyroid's influencing those hormones. But also foggy thought, poor memory, slow thinking, all of those things can be part of the thyroid not working properly. So if you've got ticks in any of those boxes that I've just said then, it might be good to go and have a look at what's going on with your thyroid and just make sure that it's running the best it can run. Because we're talking about optimal functioning here. There are diseases that can go on with the thyroid, and I'm seeing a lot more prevalence in thyroid conditions these days than I did, say, 5 years ago. Those diseases we can get underactive thyroid. So it's where the thyroid just doesn't have enough nutrients, or there is something impacting on it to slow down its process. You can also get overactive thyroid as well. And depending on what's going on there, depends on how it's treated and what's worked out with that. You can also get autoimmune conditions that affect your thyroid as well. So Hashimoto's is where the thyroid is underactive because the body is attacking ourselves. The immune system is attacking it. You can also get overactive autoimmune, which is called Graves' disease. And in those two conditions to do with autoimmune, it's best to really work out what's going on with the immune system and fix that to help or to help to correct and balance the immune system to help deal with the thyroid and how it's functioning and give it the great nutrients that it needs. So if you think that you had any ticks in those boxes before of the symptoms and that kind of thing that I said, it might be good to go and get your thyroid checked. Like I said at the beginning, the thyroid stimulating hormone that you get done in a blood test may not be sensitive enough to pick everything else up. And usually as the front line of investigation, it's usually the TSH, or the thyroid stimulating hormone, is the only hormone tested under the Medicare system in Australia at the moment. So if you think that there is something going on, definitely go and see a practitioner who specializes in thyroid, who can look beyond just the front line of the front line of the blood testing, but look deeper into what's happening and look at how your thyroid is being affected, whether it's being affected for the adrenals, whether it's nutritional, with what's going on there to help correct you and get you on track. But definitely if you're starting to feel a bit tired, you're putting on weight for no real reason, you're finding that you're a bit foggier in your thought, your skin is drier. It's hard in winter, the skin's dry anyway, but your skin is a little bit drier than usual, your hair's falling out and quite dry and brittle. those kinds of things can indicate that something is just not quite right with your thyroid. So it is best to have a look at it and see what's going on. And there's a lot of testing that we can do to find out where your thyroid is at. So on that note, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you for coming on board and watching this. I've enjoyed every moment of it with you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for tonight.